if the number of bolts holding on the fifth wheel is different from the on this side, different from the number that's on the other side. Or if you see some holes in there, it's a pretty good indication that something came off, especially if there's some wear indicators in those empty holes as well. As we move to the back of the tractor, we need the red and white retroreflective sheeting on our mud flaps. We got to have two tail lights. We got to have two directionals, two stop lamps, two four-way flashers. If the light goes out, if the whole unit is out, it's actually four different violations. So we don't want to have that happen. If that light goes out, we got to get those replaced right away. They all have to be red in color. We got to have the white light, the backup lamp. We have to have that there, and it has to work. The best way to check that is when you're disconnected from the trailer, get next to it. I'll put it in reverse. You see that light come on. As we start moving down the trailer, you want to check the lower frame rail. Make sure that there are no cracks or damage to the lower frame rail. You look at the upper frame rail. That's that metal strip along the upper edge. Make sure that there's no cracks. If you see any bowing in this area, you'll start seeing cracks forming, especially in between the fifth wheel and our back set of tandems. That means that this trailer is about ready to fail, especially if a crack is forming and it's opened up when there's a load inside. That's an out of service violation we got to take care of. As we're looking down, we're also checking for the red and white retroreflective sheeting on the side of the trailer. It needs to be all the way from the front to the back, and the aggregate amount, it can be segmented. The aggregate amount of the red and white retroreflective sheeting has to equal the 50% of the length of the vehicle. So don't go out there with a tape measure measuring a ball. Well, we want to make sure that these strips right here are longer than the spaces in between. If that's close, add a little bit of stuff in there. Add a little bit of strip in there. You can see that this one here actually has the Great Dane logo. So this came from the manufacturer that way. If you're ever in doubt, add your own. Because manufacturers don't always give you the trailer and it's completely up to the regulations. Sometimes things happen. Now, we have to have a midpoint marker light here, has to be amber in color. We're going to keep moving back to the rear of the vehicle. We're going to check tires for topper inflation. Whatever your method is, make sure that you're able to check it for proper inflation and make sure it's not flat. We're going to check the sidewalls for the same thing. Any cuts or gouges, checking the major tread grooves here. We're good to go. And they need to be 2/32 inch. If you start seeing any gouges in the tires, then we got to make sure that there are no cord showing. Chunks of the tire, small chunks of the tire that are missing are not an issue until you start seeing the second ply of the tire or you start seeing cords. It's usually you'll start seeing cords where the issue. We're going to check the inside ribs, make sure that there's no cracks. Check the lug nuts, make sure they're secured all the way around on each tire. We're going to make sure that our sliding subframe here has all the pins engaged. And we keep moving back. Now on the rear of the vehicle, on the side, you're going to see an ABS lamp. It's got to be amber color and it has to be labeled ABS. This light should come on and go off when we cycle the power of the vehicle. So when you start your vehicle up, this will come on for a second, then go off. If it doesn't, step on your brake. If it comes on and goes off, it's a violation because it's not getting a constant electrical to the ABS system on the trailer. What's happening at that point is it only gets electrical when you're stepping on the foot brake. That means it's checking its system before the ABS can even begin to activate. So when it needs a constant electrical supply as soon as you start the vehicle up. Got to have a red light in this area. This is a marker light. It shows the extreme length of the vehicle. Now when we're on the back of the trailer, we're going to check to make sure that our bumper goes all the way to the outside edges. We have red and white retroreflective sheeting on the bumper, red and white retroreflective sheeting on the lower edge of the trailer. Cannot be segmented, should be as much as possible one straight sheen. Look to the top of the vehicle, we can see the white retroreflective sheeting outlining the upper corners of the bed. 12 inches vertical, 12 inches horizontal. If one of them is missing, got to get it replaced. If they can start getting chewed up, we got to replace our retro-reflective shade. We got to have our two clearance lights. We have one here, one on the other side, and 3 identification lights on top. We got to have tail lights. Tail lights and clearance lights cannot be the same light. That's why we got to have a minimum of 7 lights across the vehicle. Now, we got our tail lights, we have our directional 4-way flashes, and our stop light. If any one of those lights does not work, it is a violation. With these type of lights, they have the incandescent lamp. You know, the filament inside, it's not an LED. So if that filament burns out for the directional, you could guarantee that your stop lamp isn't going to work and your 4-way flasher isn't going to work. 3 different violations that can be listed on an inspection report. All right, now we got to look. Make sure our trailer plate is visible. Make sure that the light showing on the plate works properly. I can see it on my hand. We have a solid bumper. We are good to go there. And as we move around to this side of the vehicle, we're going to be checking the exact same components as we did on the left side of the vehicle. They're going to be on the right side. So make sure that when you do your pre-check, make sure all your lights are working. Make sure all your tires are good. Make sure all your retroreflective shading is in order. Check the lower frame rail, upper frame rail, and if anything needs to be replaced, do it before you go out onto the road. You're not going to be violated sitting at your home terminal. But as soon as you get out onto the roadway and start driving, it could be stopped and subject to an inspection. Thank you.